Hi everybody, Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I've got Oliver Gomez, and we're going to be talking about AI, humans, how artificial intelligence is working with humans, and all of those things, AI and business. So, Oliver, where can people find you?
First, thanks for inviting me. Very happy to be here. This is great. So, my name is Olivier. People call me OG. I have this OG approved stamp that I give around, and people ask for it, so it's quite fun. People can find me obviously on social network, LinkedIn, X. My company name, IAC.ai. You can go check what we do. And then my own personal website, olivier-gomez with a Z.com.
Excellent. You often say that you work on the business side of technology. From that perspective, what's the biggest barrier stopping companies from deploying AI at scale today?
Yeah. So I definitely work on the business side of AI, which means that I look at everything on top of technology, because people tend to blame technology. But when we are deploying AI inside large environment and we try to scale after a successful pilot, uh, what people don't really realize is that most of the reason why we cannot scale is not linked to technology. It's linked to people. And for you to understand, there's two type of technology: those that can run without the people, and those that need to run with people. And that's slightly different. If they need to run without people, the reason why we don't scale is because we deploy the technology in the wrong place. We don't really have the impact expected. So, it's not really delivering the expected return on investment. We are sometimes failing to really understand what we are trying to achieve in terms of impact, and we rush to deploy tools and technology, and then we don't get the expected outcome. When we need, on top of that, human adoption, we obviously need to take care of human. We need to make sure that we remove the fear from the system, and we need to make sure that human understand what's in for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, and I think you pick up on a couple of really good points about human adoption. I think that's so important, isn't it? Um, Many companies experiment with AI in small pilots but fail to scale, which is kind of what you said earlier on. What needs to change in leadership, culture, or operations to move from experiments to more enterprise-wide impact?
Yeah, so this is a very typical situation where people are getting excited about a new shiny object, something cool that everyone is doing, everyone is talking about. ChatGPT is one of them,
Yep.
or the enterprise version of ChatGPT being Copilot. Everyone wants to buy this. Everyone is receiving that tool. There's a couple of successful use cases that demonstrate the value of it, and then automatically, we are expecting that the entire organization, everyone, everybody, all processes will suddenly start using it. Well, it's a little bit more complex than that, because when you have a number of scattered successful pilot, it's very different from having a comprehensive top-down implementation of AI that is going to span across all the different departments and touch a set of business processes end to end. So, what is really, really important in order to switch from I'm playing with technology, I'm doing a couple of proof of value, proof of concept, whatever you want to call them,
Yep.
to I am deeply integrating this into the organization. Uh, what you need to do there is exactly what I said. You need to change the mindset from what I call bottom up. So everyone is trying, having fun, to top down, which require a end-to-end understanding of what you are trying to achieve. So, for example, if I take let's say an HR department, you can have a bot that will do ABC and will work successfully. Now, to end-to-end deploy AI inside an HR department, you need to understand exactly what the whole department is doing. You need to prioritize where it makes sense to deploy technology. You need to have an end-to-end understanding of all those processes and where it makes sense to deploy what. Because another point that is important here is when we say AI, everyone thinks about ChatGPT. Well, the ecosystem of tools around AI is huge. We talk about hundreds and thousands of tools, and for each situation, you might need a slightly different solution in order to implement technology, AI, and achieve automation. So my point here is it's really important for people to understand that when we are serious about scaling enterprise grade, the top-down approach and the 360 approach and the end-to-end approach is absolutely required, rather than jumping on obvious opportunity that are small, that are going to work, but that will never scale.
And change is scary, isn't it? I mean, not everybody is going to go, "Oh wow, amazing, a piece of AI. Let's embrace it," are they?
Yeah, so you typically have a number of people that are somehow excited about the opportunity because they look at the potential impact, they understand the potential impact. But I would say most of the people are going to look at those changes, and we know, right? Historically, this is not the first time that we have a huge, let's say, change happening, a huge technology improvement. We've seen that with the internet, and people have by default, when there is a change, they are afraid of it. It's human nature. Although if we look at history, and if we look at electricity, we look at internet, we look at even further the engine, the combustion engine. Ultimately, this is always good news for people, because yes, a bunch of jobs are going away, but there's a bunch of new jobs, and when you look at the nature of the job, they are typically better and higher up, right? So yes, it's people are scared. Yes, you need to upskill, but I think most of the time, leadership is not doing a good enough job of telling everyone what's in for them. Because in reality, when you embrace AI, what you end up is being a better person, increase your productivity, reduce all the tasks that you don't like doing, and ultimately, frankly, above and beyond what you can bring to the company, you increase your market value because you have learned, you have upskilled yourself, and if tomorrow you're looking for another job, you most likely are going to be better paid.
So, how do you balance the excitement of AI adoption with the need for governance, trust, and ethical considerations?
I think those two are typically sitting at a slightly different level, right? So the control that is required around AI, what we call the governance, is absolutely needed, absolutely required. This is typically not something that is happening at the individual level. This is something that needs to be managed at the company level, right? So what's good is to have a lot of excitement at the bottom of the organization. People see the value. They want to be human plus AI instead of human without AI, because
Yep.
they know it's better. But at the top of the organization, we understand the potential business impact of doing this, but we also need to be careful because there's a whole bunch of risk that needs to be managed, right? So we know, and we've seen a number of examples of, for example, hallucination. So if you put an AI in front of a customer and you don't control the behavior, you could be doing things or committing things to the customer that would be wrongly, right? So it is a new level of accountability that company are bringing in-house, because now you have human employee and you have digital employee, especially lately with the latest development of what we call the agentic AI. So not only AI is able to write, but AI is able to take action. And every time AI is doing a mistake, like a 5-year-old kid, because AI is at the beginning of its life, it's doing a lot of mistake, and the company is accountable for it. So governance is really important, right? So being able to understand what can go wrong, fix it fast, but also potentially predict what can go wrong and make sure that there's a guardrail around it.
Yeah. You say that well, there's a lot of fear that AI will take jobs. and you argue that AI can actually be good for employees. How is it that AI can actually be good for employees?
So I'm not saying that AI will not take jobs. AI will take jobs, but at the same time, AI will create a lot of jobs. So, for example, what's quite common at the moment, you see all the huge announcement. People are building huge data center around the world. There's competition between different countries,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of money going into building data center to power AI. This is Let's just take electricity. There's a huge amount of work going to happen around electricity for the next 10, 20 years. So there's a huge amount of jobs. Those are slightly different jobs from maybe being an accountant. Maybe an accountant will be impacted because AI will do some of the work, but there's new type of job being generated. And on top of that, as I said, we are not in a situation where AI is going to take over. We are in a situation clearly where AI is extremely powerful, but it needs to be supervised. It needs to be managed. It needs to be directed. And the best way for people to understand is this is like a super tool that you need to be able to control so that you are augmented by this capability.
yeah,
And if you do that, my personal productivity, since I'm using very heavily all sorts of AI capability, I would say times 5.
yeah. What new opportunities or skills do you see opening up for employees who embrace AI compared to those who resist it?
So first of all, people are saying, I don't know if you heard about vibe coding, which is
Yeah,
basically you don't know how to code. It's only, I think, 1% of the worldwide population who can really code. 99% cannot. And what we are saying now is that everybody can code. Well, it's partially true, because if you've tried to do vibe coding, you will realize that if you don't understand the code, you are not able to manage correctly what AI is doing. So my point here is, even if AI is starting to do something extremely well, you still need to be good in that area to be able to supervise AI or the team of AI agent that you will have, right? And then what AI is really lacking today is uh, being able to define a direction, a goal, an objective, right? So AI agent now are really good at almost, I would say, creating things, because they keep trying. There's a large number of iteration happening. They keep trying to do things, and they are able to somehow create things. But what's really lacking today in the AI world, even with the latest LLM model that we have and the one that we are forecasting in the near future, is the capability to decide, to define the purpose. To really, only human today are really capable of saying, we are going to do this. We're
yeah,
gonna go. We're gonna go to Mars.
yeah, yeah. Um, if you were advising an employee today, what's the one thing that you should start right now to becoming AI ready? So what do you think that we need to do right now to become AI ready?
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's still a large number of people, and there's a number of stats about that are either not really using AI, or they are barely using AI. And what I mean by that is, I wrote an article about that, right? So you and I, let's assume you don't know anything about AI, and
Yeah,
I am really good at it. We're going to be given the same tool. We're going to be given ChatGPT, and we are going to compete. We have the same tool, but I'm going to be so much better than you, because I know how to feed, how to prompt, how to interact. I understand how AI is behaving. I understand the limitation. I understand what I can and what I cannot do with AI. I know where or when to rely on it and when not to rely on it. All
yeah,
of those things you don't, you're going to do all the mistakes. I am not. So people call that prompting. It's becoming, way more than just prompting. But I would say spending time to interact with the tool on a daily basis, to really understand that the input that you are providing to AI is extremely important to the output you are going to get. So if you don't manage very carefully the input that you are providing, not just the prompt, the context, it's almost context engineering here.
Yep.
If you're really good at that, you're going to have amazing outcome.
Yeah, I think I think it's a really important point about context. You've always said if it's human versus a human with AI, the human with AI would always win. So unpack that in the real world for us, and do you have an example?
Yeah. So as I said, it's becoming quite obvious that some people are using ChatGPT, or any other AI. I'm sorry, I'm using ChatGPT as a default AI term. I don't mean OpenAI by default, but my point here is people using it will be faster, better, stronger, more productive. So
Yep.
we definitely know that. So when I say human plus AI, is greater than human without AI. What I'm trying to do here is for people to remove fear from the system.
Yeah.
I don't think this is an option. It's like if you are saying, I want to live without electricity. Well, it's possible, and a few people are doing it, but it's certainly challenging.
Yeah. So in terms of the future, when AI becomes more intelligent than humans, so AGI or ASI, what scenarios do you foresee in terms of do you see that happening? And if so, what do you think the future is going to hold?
So it is happening. We just don't know exactly when.
Yeah.
AGI means a level of intelligence that is, let's say, greater than the smartest human we have on the planet. Okay. ASI, the super intelligence, means a level of intelligence that is greater than the sum of all the
Of
humans
all
on
the
the planet.
humans.
So, really smart guys, IQ 150, ASI is probably like in the tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is happening. And what we see here is obviously a number of bad scenario,
Yeah.
and we are not into Terminator.
Yeah.
AI is going to take over the world and the robots are going to kill us, but we are more into if we keep relying too much on those technology and they are way smarter than us, and we don't find our positioning in this ecosystem because we are less smart. What will happen to human race?
Well,
So
it was
this
going to be my next question, really. Yes.
and so this is really really important. Now there's also and I am on that side, a bunch of very positive scenario where we really find that balance between machine and us, where we collaborate, and when we unlock a bunch of things, like in the health environment. We believe that most of the disease will be resolved. We believe that there will be an amazing amount of discovery happening in the next 50 years, way more than what we have probably discovered since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get the feeling that the way things are expanding. I was watching a TED talk this morning about how they were using AI to look at the human genome and the way that they're able to predict things and
Yes.
even talk about adding another piece of code into the
Yes.
yeah.
Just for example, antibiotics.
Yeah.
Human did not discover any new antibiotics for so long, and
Yeah.
this is such a problem. I can tell you, AI, once we reach AGI, ASI, will solve it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that has to be a. It's just interesting to understand what with as AI increases, what's the role of human beings, and then we're into is there going to be any work for us, and do we have to have a universal
Well, if I may, so
where's the money going to come from, and
So I'm French. We like work-life balance in France, and there's a number of people already saying maybe work will be different. Maybe it will be three days, 2 days a week, and it will be simply different. I'm sorry, this is someone here. Let me call that. Sorry for that. So yeah, so maybe it will be different. It will be balanced differently. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Okay. Oliver Gomez, thank you, or OG, thank you so much for coming on today and talking about it. It's a fascinating subject, and thank you for sharing your expertise with us. If we wanted to know more, where can we find you?
Again, repeat, reach out to me on LinkedIn, send me maybe a mail, olivier@iac.ai. That's my website. Reach out to me. Very happy to have conversation with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much for